This class we're going to discuss about the sexual reproduction in plants. Sexual reproduction involves two processes. First one, gametogenesis, that means formation of male and female gamete. Second one, fusion of gametes. Fusion is known as fertilization. In 11th standard we studied about the lower organism sexual reproduction, for example algae and bryophyte. These organisms, they produce the gametes, may be motile or non-motile depending upon the species. But gametic fusion is three types: isogamy, anisogamy and oogamy. In algae, fertilization is external, but in higher plants, internal fertilization. Flower. Flower is a reproductive organ of plants. A flower is viewed in multidimensional perspective from the time of immemorial. So, for example, an inspirational tool for poets. It is used for decorative items in celebrations. In Tamil literature, the five lands are denoted by a different flowers, and some country flowers are embedded. Flowers nowadays it will be used to prepare the perfumes. So morphologist, how it will be defined the flowers? It is the highly condensed shoot system. Last year we studied about the flower. The flower consists of four whorls: calyx, corolla, androecium and gynoecium. Calyx and corolla is a non-essential wholes. Androecium and gynoecium is essential whole of the flower because it is directly involved in reproduction. Sexual reproduction in higher plants include three stages. They are pre-fertilization, fertilization and post-fertilization. So first we're going to discuss about the pre-fertilization structure and events. The hormonal and structural changes in the plant lead to the differentiation and development of the floral primordium. So now we're going to discuss about the what is the pre-fertilization process and events going to involve. The first event, it will be a male reproductive part development. In flower, which is the male reproductive part? Androecium. So the androecium is made up of stamens, and stamen they contain two parts, anther and filament. Anther bears the pollen grain. Okay, these pollen grains only represent the male gametophyte. Development of anther. A very young anther develops as a mass of homogeneous cells. So it will be present in the epidermis. During this development, anther assumes the four-lobed structure. Each lobe they having one row or few rows of hypodermal cells becomes the enlargement with the conspicuous nuclei. This function as archiporium. The archisporial cell divided by periclinal division to form a primary parietal cells towards the epidermis and primary sporogenous cells towards the inner side of the anther. Primary parietal cell undergoes series of periclinal and anticlinal division. There will be forms of 2 to 5 layers of anther wall. So what are the layers it will be forms means? Endodermis, middle layer and tapetum. So it will be start from outside to center, that is periphery to center. Microsporogenesis. What is microsporogenesis? Formation of microspore. So microspores forms from diploid microspore mother cell undergoes meiosis and they produce the haploid microspore. The primary sporogenous cells directly or may undergo few mitotic division to form a sporogenous tissue. The last generation of sporogenous tissue function as microspore mother cell. This microspore mother cell they contain diploid condition, 2n condition, and it is undergoes meiotic division and forms the tetrad, that is the 4 haploid microspore. Microspores soon separate from one another and remain free in the anther locule and develop into the pollen grain. In some plants, all the microspores in the microsporangium remain held together or called pollinium. Example, Calotropis. Pollinia are attached to the clamp or clip-like sticky structure called the corpusculum. Then the filament or thread-like part arises from the each pollinium is called retinaculum. So whole structure when you look, it looks like a inverted Y letter shape. So it is called as the translator. TS of mature anther. When you are observing the TS of mature anther, that means transverse section of mature anther, we can able to see the anther cavity surrounded by anther wall. It is bilobed, each lobe having two theca. So that means it is a dithecous. So the given picture, typical anther, it will be seen tetrasporangiate. 4 microsporangium we can able to see in one structure. So outer anther wall we can able to see. This mature anther wall, they contain 4 layers. The first one epidermis, second endothecium, third one middle layer, fourth one tapedum. Epidermis, it is a single layered and protective in function. The cells undergoes the repeated anticlinal division to cope up with the rapidly enlarging internal tissue. Endothecium, it is generally we can see the single layer and radially elongated cell where it will be seen below the epidermis. Internal tangential wall developed one band like structure. So the band is made up of cellulose. Sometimes we can see the radial walls also. In that places we can see the lignified. Lignin substance also we can see in that place deposition. Then these cells are iontoscopic in nature. But endothelial differentiation absent in some plants. For example, aquatic plants anther, then saprophytic, clistogamous flowers and extremely parasitic plants. So here and all differentiation is absent. Then the cells between the two sporangia junction, the anther lobes lacking the thickening. This region only called as stomium. So this region iontoscopic in nature and during the maturity anther dehiscence it will be takes through this stomium only. Middle layer 2 to 3 layer of cells. So next to the endothecium and it forms the middle layer. But generally this middle layer is epimeral. So that means it will be disintegrate soon or get crushed during the maturity. Tapetum, it is the innermost layer of the anther wall and attending maximum development during the tetrad stage of microsporogenesis. So it is derived partly from peripheral wall layer and partly from the connective tissues of anther lining anther lobe. So the tapetum is dual in origin. It nourishes the developing sporogenous tissue, microspore mother cells and microspore. The cells of tapetum may remain uninucleate or may contain more than one nuclei or in some time it become a polyploidy. That means many sets of chromosomes it will be seen in the nucleus. It also contributes to the wall material, sporopollenin, pollen kit, trypsin and number of proteins that control incompatibility reaction. Tapetum also control the fertility and sterility of the microspores or pollen grains. There are two types of tapetum based on the behavior. The first one, secretory tapetum and invasive tapetum. Secretory tapetum, parietal, glandular and cellular condition. So tapetum retains the original position and cellular integrity and nourishes the developing microspore. Invasive tapetum, periplasmodial. So here all the loose cells, okay, inner to the tangential and radial wall, and the protoplasm of all the tapetal cells fused to form a periplasmodium. Functions of tapetum. First main function is it's supplying the nutrition to microspore. Second one, contribution of sporopollenin. So through the Upas bodies they producing the sporopollenin. So it is playing the main important role pollen wall formation. Pollen kit material is contributed by the tapetal cells, so later transformed to the pollen surface. Exant proteins responsible for the rejection reaction of the stigma are present in the cavities of the exant. These proteins are derived from tapetal cell. Anther cavity. So anther cavity is filled with the microspores in the young stage or with the pollen grains at the maturity. So during the meiotic division, microspore mother cell gives rise to microspores. Microspores are haploid in condition. Connective tissue. It is the column of sterile tissue surrounded by the anther lobe. So vascular tissue also it will be contained in connective tissue only. So it is also contribute the inner tapetum.